This video is sponsored by Artlist and Artgrid. If you want good, royalty-free music and video footage, check out the link down below for a special offer. When I first saw Stray during the Future of Gaming event in 2020, I was already hooked for multiple reasons. First, I love cats. I don't have one, but I feed like 8 of them that live in my neighborhood, and some of them even like to chill on my porch for the whole day. I also thought that the visuals looked very impressive, and this cyberpunk science fiction world seemed right up my alley. That being said, I was expecting it to be quite gimmicky, and I was afraid that the game would end up lacking in substance. But after playing it and getting the platinum, I can safely say that Stray is a lot more than just a game where you fool around as a cat, even though there's plenty of that. It's the kind of game you really need to try for yourself to understand what makes it so great and why people are freaking out all over the internet and sharing pictures and videos of their cats while playing the game. So let me try to explain why Stray absolutely deserves the hype and why this cute orange cat took the gaming world by storm. Stray is a third-person cat adventure game set amidst the detailed, neon-lit alleyways of a decaying cyber city and the murky environments of its seedy underbelly. See the world through the eyes of a cat and interact with the environment in playful ways. Be stealthy, nimble, silly, and sometimes as annoying as possible with the strange robotic inhabitants of this mysterious world. Roam surroundings high and low, defend against unforeseen threats, and solve the mysteries of this unwelcoming place as you try to make your way out. The first thing you'll notice when playing Stray is how absolutely gorgeous it looks. And keep in mind that this is an indie game made by a very small team. Even then, I think it puts to shame a bunch of AAA blockbusters that don't even come close to this level of detail and visual complexity. From the neons reflecting on city streets to the smoky volumetric lighting, this game is oozing with personality and atmosphere. Stray also has some of the best environments I've seen in a very long time. This is easily one of the most detailed cities I've ever seen in a video game. Every shop, every alleyway, and every apartment feels like it's truly lived in. The environmental storytelling is also on point, the Asian-inspired art direction is fantastic, and the overall level of polish makes exploring this world an absolute blast. When I was playing this game, I realized that I definitely have a soft spot for these lo-fi, cozy science fiction worlds. I don't really know how to call it, but things like Beyond Good and Evil or even Arcane. I freaking love this type of aesthetic, worlds that blend old and new, cold and warm, and that somehow manage to feel scary but inviting at the same time. There's just something so comforting in seeing how the people living in these bleak urban jungles manage to make them feel like home. I don't know what it is about it, but I could spend hours in these sorts of environments. And the good thing about the world of Stray is the fact that not only does it look good, but it's also extremely fun to navigate. The game is relatively linear most of the time, but you do get to visit small open world sections that you can freely explore to find some optional areas and collectibles like music sheets for a street musician, energy drinks for this local vendor, or lost memories, giving you insight into the game's fascinating backstory. And you do all of this as a cat. This means you can easily climb on rooftops, sneak through fences, jump through windows, fit through tight spaces, climb on tables, shelves, and much more. That being said, there's not much challenge to it, because your jumps are context sensitive and you cannot fail during platforming sequences. The only times you'll die is during the encounters with the Zurks or the Sentinels, and even then those are few and far between and not particularly hard. But difficulty is simply not the point of this game. It's just really fun to explore such a meticulously crafted world from a perspective we don't see very often. It's honestly quite amazing how well the movements of cats translate to video games. And the level of interactivity is quite impressive. You can do a bunch of cat stuff like scratch surfaces or knock things over, there's a pretty robust physics system you can mess around with, and you can also talk to every robot living in the city thanks to your trusty flying companion. It's by talking to these robots that you get most of the story, which I found surprisingly compelling. Trying to unravel what happened to human life, helping the outsiders trying to find a way to the surface, and just learning about the daily lives of these robots was captivating. There's also plenty of interesting themes like artificial intelligence, pollution, waste management. I mean, there's a lot to sink your teeth into, much more than I was expecting. Robots are also the ones who give you objectives to complete. Most of them will require you to either cross dangerous locations or help specific citizens by finding certain items. And throughout your journey, you'll do plenty of puzzle solving, and what I loved the most was the fact that every single obstacle in the game can be solved by simply being a cat. Like pushing a can of paint off a ledge to break a window, scratching a door so that the people inside can open it for you, or knocking down piles of books to reveal a secret safe. I swear to God, you actually start thinking like a cat because of that, and you start finding pleasure in being the most annoying little thing possible. The developers really focused on the core foundation of their game, which is all about being a cat, and they managed to make it a part of every single gameplay pillar. Just like Traversal though, the puzzles are very easy, but once again, you don't play Stray for a challenge. I mean, we're talking about a game that has a trophy for actually sleeping for an hour. Stray is one of those games that on paper seem very simple and almost simplistic to some extent, but once you play it, it just comes to life. The best way I would describe it is like a mix between Inside, Concrete Genie, and Untitled Goose Game. It's all about the atmosphere, the world, the visuals, the sheer fun of exploration, and you just need to let go and enjoy what is arguably the most charming game of the year. If you're familiar with my channel, you know that I don't like to talk about every single component. I like to talk about my overall experience and what truly matters. And what I can say is that I had an amazing time playing this game. It took me about 6 hours to finish my first playthrough and around 9 to get the platinum, and for a $30 game that you can also get as a part of PlayStation Plus, it's a very decent length in my opinion. If you love cats, don't even think about it, you need to play this thing as soon as possible, and if you're more of a dog person but want to play an incredibly heartwarming and relaxing adventure, Stray is the game for you. Thank you guys for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, as usual, drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and you can also follow me on Twitter to see me ramble about a bunch of random stuff. That's pretty much it, and I'll see you guys later.